It's not just what you're eating, it's also what's eating you.
All through our history as a species, the big challenge is to find calories. And so our bodies are biologically adapted to this. We seek calorie sources. When I say that, what I'm talking about are fats and sugars. If we taste something fatty or something sweet, we get an immediate signal saying, yes, I want more of this. Because for our hunter-gatherer ancestors, and that goes right up to a few hundred years ago, anywhere they could find fat or sugar meant survival for those people. It meant carrying forth their genetics.
It's not your fault. This is how we are as mammals. I mean, we've lived on the earth for a millennium where there was a food shortage. You're programmed to put on fat whenever there is food available. But now there's a lot of food available, but it's the wrong kind. And so we've been programmed for millennia to store up for the winter. But the winter doesn't come.
Thousands of years ago, when we lived outdoors and we didn't know where our next meal was coming from, if there was a famine because it was a cold winter or whatever reason, your body is going to want to hold extra weight to protect you from that. And a famine is a stress. And if you go through that stress, your body's going to say, we need an extra 10 pounds to protect us against famines.
But one of the really interesting things about hunter-gatherer people, or people who do a very moderate amount of agriculture, we could call them hunter-gatherer gardeners. What we see in those people is that they have an extremely high amount of nutrition, an extremely low amount of calories in their food, compared to people in modern civilization, which have a very high amount of calories and a very low amount of nutrition available to them. Today, we have so many calorie sources, but we still have the same signal. So somebody bites into a burger or they take a sip off a milkshake and they get those fats and those sugars and their body says, yes, more, because it's used to behaving in an environment where there's feast and there's famine. The problem is we got feast like nobody's business. We just don't have any famine.
You could be eating to your heart's content. You could eat 10,000 calories a day. And if you're not getting the specific nutrients your body needs in a way that they can digest and assimilate, then you're starving on a nutritional basis. And as long as you're starving on a nutritional basis, your body's going to stay hungry to get those specific nutrients. Now, man-made foods like bread and sugar trick your body into thinking, and table salt as a matter of fact, trick your body into thinking you're getting specific nutrients. And so your body stays hungry for them, but then the cells don't get nourished. And as long as the cells aren't getting nourished, you're starving on a cellular level.
So what happens for average person is, today in our civilization, is they're not getting enough, say, vitamin A. They're not getting enough vitamin D. They're not even getting enough vitamin C. They're chronically starved of nutrients, so they keep eating and eating and eating. But the foods that they keep eating don't have enough of these nutrients for them ever to get the stock that they need. But what those foods do have is a lot of calories. So what happens is they start to pack these calories onto their body in the form of body fat. And the body starts to accumulate or bioaccumulate too much not just fat, but also all the associated pollutants that are in that food supply. We see things like diabetes, right? We see blood sugar imbalance issues, and we see a lot of weight gain. And so this is a really prevalent problem today because people are overfed, but they're also starving to death.